Hi, I'm Queen Sylvie of the multiple award winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah. The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high quality, and greatly satisfied service, Lafrida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. Lafrida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
It used to be hard for this family to run and play in their yard. That big pooch left its business all over. Dad would spend his time cleaning up puppy messes. Now, I make sure the yard is clean so they can play without worry. Yes, there really is a poop fairy.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. And welcome to another hump day on Tim's Tidbits. What's going down, Larry?
Man, I noticed the temperature is not going down; it's going up.
Is it? Hey, I'll take
It's
that
like,
anyhow.
man, 70-some degrees, man. It's warm.
It isn't too bad up here in the north, actually. You know what's kind of interesting, you bring that up, is just last week out on the lake, they did a ice rescue. Guys were out ice fishing. And in any event, the ice fractured and the shelf broke off and it's floating out in the lake. So they had to call Coast Guard and that to come and rescue these people. But it has not been that cold. So I don't know what they're thinking. You get some of these old school people, well, I grew up ice fishing when it was in January. Well, it ain't the same as it was 20 years ago. No more. That ice used to probably be about, 2 or 3 feet thick. Now, no.
3 inches thick.
Maybe 3 inches. You may be right.
You weighing like 250, 260.
So, yeah, it's crazy. So,
Physics.
Yeah, it's changed. The weather has changed big time. Anywho, hey, what do we got to talk about tonight? Oh, I know. Hey, first thing, this happened actually last week. And this is out in the Mojave Desert of California, right? They found this car, rather. Somebody reported it as a check the welfare or something like that. They came along the road, and this car was just riddled with bullet holes and strewn around dead bodies. Check this out.
I'm a sergeant with the Specialized Investigation Division, Homicide Detail. Our Specialized Investigation Division has been working on this around the clock to bring these people to justice and justice for our victims. They were murdered in the remote area north of Adelanto in San Bernardino County. I appreciate the public and the media's patience with us, which allowed our team to focus our efforts in finding those responsible. I want to remind everyone this is still an active investigation, and we will not be able to disclose all the facts of this case. What I can confirm is on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024, at approximately 2016 hours, dispatchers received a 911 call from a subject who spoke Spanish. The caller told dispatchers he was shot, but he did not know the location he was at, and it appeared the call ended. Dispatchers tracked the phone via latitude and longitude coordinates to a remote area in the unincorporated Adelanto area near Lessing Avenue. Due to the remote location, California Highway Patrol airship assisted our deputies and conducted an extensive search. Once overhead the area, officers discovered a crime scene and what appeared to be multiple gunshot wound victims, 2 vehicles, and one of the vehicles was apparently shot, had multiple gunshot strikes in it. The 2 vehicles were a Dodge Caravan and a Chevy Trailblazer. At approximately 20:40 hours, deputies from the Victor Valley Station arrived on scene and located 4 deceased males with severe burns. A 5th deceased male was located in the Chevy Trailblazer, and a 6th deceased male a short distance away who sustained a gunshot wound. Our sheriff's homicide investigators assumed the investigation to process the scene and find those responsible for these heinous acts of violence. I can confirm 4 of the 6 victims have been identified. The name of the 4th victim is still being withheld pending next of kin notification. Victim number 1 is Baldemar Mondragon Albaran, 34-year-old resident of Adelanto. Victim number 2, Franklin Noel Bonilla, 22-year-old Hispanic male adult from Hesperia. Victim number 3, Kevin Darial Bonilla, 25-year-old Hispanic male adult, resident of Hesperia. Victim number 4 was a 45-year-old Hispanic male adult. Victims 5 and 6 have yet to be identified. Investigators believe Franklin Bonilla was the subject who called 911 after being shot by the suspects. District Attorney.
And they said it was marijuana related, if you can believe it or not.
Have you seen the movie No Country for Old Men?
No,
You haven't seen that with oh my God, with Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee Jones. What's the basis of what? Kind of like the
Basically, it's a drug deal just like that. They did a drug deal out in the desert, and they had a shootout, and they all killed each other. And the one guy that was going out to hunt, he went out there and stumbled upon the whole big mess, and it was just like that. There's a whole big mess. It was drug related. Then he actually found the money, took the money back, went back to give the one guy alive some water, and then he started getting. They started trying to track the money down and get the money back from him. It's called No Country for Old Men.
I have to watch that. No, I kind of found that like a little bit puzzling that, all that over some weed. Because, I mean, and especially in California, it's legalized in California, but then again, Arizona and some of the other neighboring states, it's not. So it's a profitable product to have your hands on, I would guess.
Yeah, man, I was stationed down there in Fort Irwin, the Mojave Desert. We used to do military movements and training down there. So
That'd be a ton of fun.
yeah, it's crazy to be out there doing the movement. And you find dead bodies and you're trying to drive the tank, or like, hey, who that vehicle gets shot up with bullets? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I thought that was insane. No, I saw almost like some gang stuff, I mean, either they never had the marijuana to begin with, or the people didn't have the money, so they, was going to rob them. Yeah, something went really strange. It'd be interesting to see how that turns out.
I'm telling you, look at that movie. Look at that movie, No Country for Old Men.
Hey, we'll have to check that out. Check that out. Speaking of checking stuff out, man, last week we talked about the, Air Alaska, where the spare door blew off and
right.
It seems like a never-ending thing that something's going to happen with jets, right? So let's see what happened to a Delta jet that was getting ready to take off.
Delta 982, tower 127 right, line up, boys.
Just before a Delta Airlines plane began its takeoff roll down the runway Saturday morning at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, a warning over the radio.
This is the aircraft looking at you. One of your nose tires just came off. It just rolled off the runway behind you.
The Boeing 757 bound for Columbia stopped in its tracks after one of its nose wheels came off. The crew in command unaware until a fellow Delta pilot spoke up.
Tower, I'm going to contact our maintenance folks and see if we can get it.
Fine.
Delta apologized to the passengers and says it put them on a different plane to Bogota. As for the missing tire, it was eventually found.
We have located that tire. You have located the tire? Yes, sir. It was in a safety area on the south shoulder.
Investigators say the runway where this happened was shut down for several hours. It's unclear why the wheel came off, but the FAA tells me they're now investigating.
Man.
It's unclear why the wheel came off. It's
Yeah, because the bolts were
somebody
loose.
didn't tighten it. Yeah. Somebody did maintenance on that wheel of the airplane and didn't tighten it up properly. They didn't torque it down properly. That's why it came off.
Yeah, we're not even jet technicians, and we can figure that one out, right?
Yeah, I'm like, they just didn't check it or something because the vibrations and all kind of stopping and going, stuff gets loose. But still, that's an airplane.
You
That's supposed
freaking
to be a
imagine.
checklist.
I'm at the pilots that reported it in were probably shocked. You imagine sitting there and you seeing the plane's tire rolling down the runway. You're like,
Wait a minute, is that ours?
that ain't right.
Don't we need that to land?
Yeah, they might need that. That might come in handy when they want to land.
Or to take off. Won't they take off and it leans to the side and everything, the wind catches it? That plane supposed going to blow up, man. Come on, man. Who's in the maintenance department?
I find, well, then again, let's discuss that for just a second. When it comes to the different manufacturers, because now they're trying to blame it on what the one manufacturer that put that 747 out that had the window problem or the door problem, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now you've got I think what it is, it's the same thing we're seeing all over. It's a shortage of qualified labor.
That's all it is, shortcuts.
They're taking whatever they can get, and these people may or may not be actually right for the job, so to speak. Obviously, something's going wrong somewhere.
Somebody's literally dropping the ball and the tire at the same time, man.
Isn't that sad as hell? Now, I thought I'd
That's
cover
typical.
that one. I'm like, geez, I mean, I'd rather walk anymore. You want
What
to
about flying on a paper airplane?
be just about as safe.
That ain't right.
You're just about as safe.
At least you know you're the one that made it.
Hey, then again, you never know who's in behind you pulling what they call maintenance, right?
Man, that's crazy,
It is.
bro.
That's really sad. Anyhow, hey, let's move on and see. Obviously, a lot of coverage still on what's happening over in Gaza, right? With Israel and Hamas, and they want to wipe out the country. I don't know what the heck their intentions are, but in any regard, the UN's getting a lot of heat because they support this, and there's so many people dying, and they're going to turn up the flames just a little bit on Israel.
The International Court of Justice is demanding Israel take new steps to prevent genocide in Gaza against Palestinians. The World Court effectively put Israel on notice, ordering Israel to limit the death and destruction in Gaza. But the question remains whether Israel will abide by the ruling. However, Israel is saying it's only acting in self-defense and making the utmost efforts to avoid civilian casualties.
The court is acutely aware of the extent of the human tragedy that is unfolding in the region and is deeply concerned about the continuing loss of life and human suffering.
The UN's top court hasn't ruled on the core of the case, which is whether Israel has committed genocide. That decision could take years.
Yeah, I think have you been following that on the news at all? They're bombing
I saw
hospitals
that.
and apartments, and it's almost like non-discriminatory, arbitrary throwing bombs. And they say, well, it's a target because they had tunnels under this hospital, or whatever the case may be. But still, look at the loss of life. It's getting to the point ridiculous.
They went on a court hearing. I'm like, a court hearing to stop dropping the bombs. I'm like, you don't need nobody in court to say, hey, if you're wrong for dropping bombs, it's legal. We're going to file against you. I'm like, no, just stop.
That's part, the United Nations, and Israel's a part of the United Nations, and to be a cooperating, member, you're saying, y'all need to chill out. Larry, I realize that, you didn't appreciate your neighbor coming over and hosing down your dog, but you're burning down his house a little bit to extremes.
They burning down his house, their house, the people next to those houses, the stores they go to, the
Right.
schools they attend. They burning down everything.
Yeah, that's getting to the point of total ridiculousness. I mean,
looking at world war. That's what it's coming to. Everybody's at war now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, look what happened. Just the other day is we had 6 of our service members that got their.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, they got killed. Where were they at when they got killed? I forgot.
I can't remember the tower or something. They called it like Tower 26. It was it's right next. It's in Iran area, and so
30-some got injured.
And I mean, apparently, I was trying to figure that out how that happened, and they said what they were doing is they have shields up, right, so to speak, to protect the airspace around and above. But apparently, they were bringing in a drone at the time that they brought in this bomber drone, and that's how it all kind of happened. They had the guards down for a second because they were bringing in a drone of their own, and this drone apparently followed it in, and kaboom. That's what I said. Okay. It's a damn shame, and now I think then I can't remember, is it the country that they're in? You're correct. Is kind of like saying we're getting kind of tired of people taking it out on our area because you're taking occupancy because we gave you a little bit of land here for your base, and maybe it might be time for you to.
Bye bye. If they bombing, if you just get bombed, you got to leave. Period. Don't go bomb them back. I'm like, that means they don't want you to get out. Yeah, that's like somebody coming into your house and saying, "Hey, I need to hang out here for a minute because I got people shooting at me." Now people are shooting bullets through your house. You're like, wait, time out, right? You better call the police. That's their job.
Yeah, let's rethink this. But there's all kinds of shit going on everywhere. I mean, that's just the world we live in now. I mean, it's getting crazy. But anyhow, hey, speaking of the world we live in, have you heard of what is it? One America News. It's a kind of a right-wing news program. It's on cable TV. They stream this. Anyhow, Smartmatic is taking them to court. Taking a news station to court. And let's find out why would they want to do that.
All right, new this morning, the voting technology company Smartmatic is accusing executives at the pro-Trump network One America News of, quote, engaging in criminal activities while promoting lies about the 2020 election. Court filings suggest the president of the network sent an email to former Trump campaign lawyer Sidney Powell purportedly containing the passwords of Smartmatic employees. CNN's Marshall Cohen, part of the team that broke this story. Marshall, what have you learned here?
Good morning, John. This is a pretty wild story indeed. So according to court filings, after the 2020 election, the president of OAN, Charles Herring, sent a spreadsheet to former Trump lawyer Sidney Powell, claiming to contain passwords of Smartmatic employees. This came at a time when OAN and Powell were promoting those baseless conspiracy theories that Smartmatic had rigged the 2020 election. Now, the details about this spreadsheet have not been made public before. We pieced together the story from 3 different court cases stemming from the 2020 election. In one of those cases, Smartmatic is suing OAN for defamation, and in a recent filing, Smartmatic referenced the email between Herring and Powell. It's unclear how Herring got that spreadsheet or if the passwords were real. But Smartmatic says this all means that OAN executives may have engaged, quote, in criminal activities because they appear to have violated state and federal laws regarding data privacy. Now, John, OAN denies wrongdoing. I want to be very clear about that. Charles Babcock, an attorney for the network, told CNN in a statement that this, quote, vague accusation is a clumsy attempt to smear OAN and to divert attention away from Smartmatic's own misconduct. Now, that email was sent in January 2021, just one day after the voting systems in Coffee County, Georgia, were breached by some of Sidney Powell's associates. They were looking for evidence that would prove their fraud claims, and Powell has pleaded guilty to state charges in Georgia stemming from that breach.
These people are just...
Okay, so these people are anti-Trump or they're with
Trump? They're pro-Trump. One American Network. Yeah, kind of like, yeah. They're part of the MAGA movement. So, and, part of the election deniers. And I mean, if you look what's going on around you, as a executive of a particular streaming platform of that magnitude, where they've got obviously hundreds of thousands of viewers, yes? Are you going to perpetuate that kind of false information when you know that it could become slander, it could become liable, for that? And then you're going to have your own team sitting there digging in even further. Now look at the mess that they've dug up, where you've breached a data system. Now you're getting into different state, federal crimes. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Are you that hypnotized by this particular man that's leading the MAGA movement that you're willing to commit these type of crimes and just look beyond, what's right, what's wrong?
Yeah, they are. They are. They dumb as hell. I'm like, no man and no woman should have that much influence over your thoughts, even when their thought, even if mainly because their thoughts are sporadic and are totally how can I say it?
Without basis.
No basis.
A lot of it is without basis. Yes, correct.
Just a bunch of mumbling and stumbling and making up stuff they go on, irrational thoughts, and then look what rational thoughts create irrational other thoughts, and people like to join in, and there you go.
I look at a lot of the people that's involved in this from, how many that's from the January 6th insurrection, these people get in, these people that have messed around with, what was it, the Dominion voting machines, and now the Smartmatic, and they're, liable there in this trying to rig elections with Georgia. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You know what? I think all those people up top, the right wing, left wing, the senators, Republicans, and all that crap, they're doing it for money.
Oh.
They're doing it for money. They're doing it for position. That's why they're doing it. So I can understand why they're doing it. They want to get the money. They want to keep their positions. They want to get better positions. They want to continue not to work and get rich. Now, the people under them, the voters that are falling for that crap and doing it, why are they doing it? What's their purpose? What are they getting out of it? What are they really getting out of it? Because you can get something out of your local government, but out of federal government, the federal government does not really apply to the regular everyday man and woman.
It's going to be your state
federal
and
government
local.
supports the government. So that's how dumb they are, because you can't get nothing really out of Trump becoming president. If he write a law, you still got to worry about your state laws to deal with first, and it just don't make sense.
It'll be interesting. People are just. I was surprised to see, what was it, Tim Scott, that senator out of South Carolina. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he's a black guy that was up on the debates for a minute.
Yeah, remember? Yeah, I'm not.
And now he's up there just saying, Donald Trump, and I'm like, the only you're kissing butt so bad, it's obviously you're looking for a VP position, because you really don't believe what's coming out of your mouth. I know you don't.
Yeah, I can understand why the senators and all these politicians and all those people up there do it. I see why they do it. I get it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I don't get it. I can see it.
Yeah, I know why they do it. They want higher positions, which is going to give them
all
more
power.
money.
Yep, all the struggle
more power. Of course, it's going to give them more money, more advantages. It's going to give them more connections. That's why they're doing it. But I don't understand why Tom, Dick, and Harry and Mary over here acting a damn fool like him becoming president is really going to benefit them directly. It's not.
Not going to do a damn thing for you. I mean, did it the last 4 years? Did you feel any benefit besides that he put us more in debt than the past few presidents?
Like I say,
I didn't feel anything positive by having him. And I'm not saying I felt anything positive from having Biden either.
Yeah, I'm only saying the only president I've known that really made some big differences for the black culture was Lyndon Johnson, when he passed all those laws and rights during the civil rights movement.
Civil rights affirmative action, and now they're trying to take all that away. Now they're trying to rip that from you. So.
Yeah, but that's the only time I've seen the president actually do something for people.
That's what gets me when you got somebody like Tim Scott. You're black, Tim. Look in the freaking mirror. You don't think affirmative action helped you? Gave you that latitude to be able to pursue the career that you wanted? Sure it did.
He's one of them now. He's already connected.
Now you're sitting there, and turncoat on your people, your family, your kin. Come on, man. They fought for that stuff. A lot of people gave their blood and their lives for that kind of freedom. Now you want to take it away. Whatever. Anyhow, speaking of, and you have brought that up a little earlier.
I'll see how they do that.
I'll see how they do that. Is,
Yes.
state and local government takes care of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens, if you have let's say, an EMS run? Somebody in your family is super sick. And anyhow, EMS arrives and
Township officials say both their fire chief and assistant fire chief have been placed on administrative leave. A letter went out to residents today telling them about it. Officials say Township EMS responded to a possible drug overdose back on January 2nd. They say when they arrived, the patient was unresponsive on a couch with what they called a large, aggressive dog lying by her side. Well, after 40 minutes of trying to lure the dog away, the dog warden arrived and secured the animal. When they say they finally got to the patient, they declared her dead. But when the coroner arrived, township officials say they saw she was trying to breathe. They say they started Narcan and CPR and believe she is now recovering in a hospital.
The situation is tragic. It shouldn't have happened. And we're very sorry that it did. Our internal investigation will certainly get to the bottom of what happened, and we'll provide the public with as much transparency as we legally can.
Springfield Township officials point out that Fire Chief Barry Kuzno and Assistant Fire Chief David Moore were not there on the scene that day. They say two paramedics who were are also on administrative leave. The township officials say there is a full investigation underway, and they have appointed an acting fire chief and assistant fire chief in the interim.
what do you think of that?
Crazy, man. Like, he got I think it was just more than just they're not adding everything in. There had to be maybe some a very bad environment where she was in. It could have been a hoarder type situation.
House could have stunk and stuff, and besides the dog, and who knows? And how long was she actually laying there?
Yeah, so
we know she was laying there for 40 minutes while they were hanging around doing nothing, waiting for the animal control guy to come and get the dog out.
All I heard was excuses of why they didn't do it. How? I'm like, come on, bro. It doesn't matter. You still got to do your job. Somebody was like, I'm not doing it. Well, me neither. Well, you got to do it. Well, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that they would have at least put like a cuff on her, right, to see does she have any blood pressure? Is this one? Do I have a pulse? Put a stethoscope on her chest. Check for some type of pulse. But they obviously didn't do jack shit.
And they say they're doing an investigation. We can probably figure out that it had to be something bad. Whether I'm talking about like she had to be in some kind of condition where they were like, oh no.
Wait, she got slobber all hanging out her lip and said, Larry, go over and give her some mouth-to-mouth.
Bro, it had to be something bad. But I'm like, no, bro, I'm not doing it. I've seen shows where this one guy got drunk on the EMS stuff, and he threw up on himself and shitted on himself. And the one guy like, bro, I can't do it. I'll do the next 5. Just do this one for me, because he couldn't. The stint was so bad, he just couldn't take it. He was throwing up as he was trying to help the guy. The guy threw up on himself. He was drunk and shitted and pissed on himself. It was. I was like, bruh.
That is freaking super disgusting. And who knows? Like I said, that happened in Toledo, Ohio, Springfield Township over on the east side, or west side, rather. It's west side.
That happened in Texas.
But, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, somebody's got to take the fall for it, you bet.
They're trying to figure out who's going to get blamed. That's all they're doing. If we blame him or blame her or whoever, okay.
Give us a week and we'll figure out who we're going to throw under the bus.
Yeah, somebody's going to get, they're trying to, exactly. So he's been here longer, she's been here longer. Can't get him, can't get her, okay.
Yeah, you've got tenure, Larry, so we can fire you and you'll still get paid. So, hey.
Yeah, so they figured that's the investigation. We know that they just didn't do their damn job.
That's what it comes down to. Hey, your teams are probably out of the Super Bowl by now, right?
They wouldn't
are you a San Francisco fan or a Kansas City fan?
This how it goes. Kansas City is defending Super Bowl champion. Am I right?
Yeah.
I support the champion. Everything has to go through. I've been telling people all year. Everything goes through Kansas City. I'm a San Fran fan because of the older San Fran teams and they battle with Dallas. But I like the champion. Whoever the champion is, it goes to Kansas City. They're the champion. So right now, I'm rooting for Kansas City because they're the defending champion.
So it'd be a lot of fun to go to the game, though, wouldn't it?
I don't want no part of that.
But hey, check it out. The game is getting a little bit on the extreme side.
Barton Crockett, senior media analyst at Rosenblatt Securities. Barton, welcome. I suppose Peacock passed the test. Not only did they pick up viewers, not only did they set records, they didn't crash.
Certainly. They can take the ball into the end zone and spike it. They scored on this play. Can they uncork the champagne and say they won a championship? No. Peacock is still, they've guided for tracking losses around $2.8 billion this year. And the real championship is not only growing subs, but gaining profitability and, from that gaining long-term kind of viability. But I think what we see with this, with the consumer's willingness to sign up for a subscription service, put up audience numbers comparable to really anything we've seen on TV, is that the future of sports is streaming. This is where it's going. And Peacock, Comcast, they're players. They're able to put up some good scores.
Are the leagues going to find comfort in this? In other words, there was a worry that if you didn't have the traditional legacy players, and you'll still have them, Fox, CBS, ABC, ESPN, so forth, bidding for NBC, bidding for this content, and you were relying on streamers, they weren't going to be able to pay the same high prices that those other legacy providers had. This would indicate that the streamers are going to have the financial muscle, not just the ability, but the financial muscle to buy these rights.
Mm-hmm.
So what is he saying?
He's saying that just like the NFL. I mean, how many games have you not been able to watch this year because it's on Peacock or another streaming service?
He's saying basically everything's going to be pay-per-view moving forward.
Well, I mean, look at the salaries that these people are starting to cap out at, And,
you got to find a way to pay him.
You got to find a way to pay him. And I mean, if somebody's offering you $22 million, to stream your games, that's almost kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah, okay. Well, if people really want to watch us play, they'll run over to Peacock, Hulu, or whatever particular streaming service, got the contract. Yeah, I can see the same thing happen. Your Big Ten, SEC.
Yeah. And the college kids are going to get screwed out of money.
Yep, you're going to get the colleges saying, well, yeah, you ripped us off on the, likeness images, right? So I can't sell your jersey. But I can form a contract with, Larry's Cable, and he's going to stream all our games. And he just put $22 million in my pocket to do it. So why the hell not?
Man, I tell you,
you and I are the ones that are going to suffer because, we cut the cable, right? And so all we're doing is streaming internet. But now the streaming services are going to gouge you. So your $100 cable bill's still going to be over $100 because you got to pay for the streaming services.
Yeah, or you can just go ahead and be a business owner and be smart about it. Open up a place where you just stream it and invite people in and let them pay for it and do it at like a whole big complex, like a bar or something like that.
What is that licensing? I wonder when you have these, like B-dubs and threes and some of these other places that, stream those sports. What does that cost them to actually stream that game?
Is it just regular streaming cost? I don't know. Like
I don't
Buffalo
know.
Wild Wings.
I don't know if there's a difference between private person and a business. Actually, I don't know.
Get you a big enough spot and then stream it and put a big old blow up outside and then pay people to come watch it.
There you go. There's one. Yeah, I just see it's getting to the point of ridiculous. That's all I can say is,
Everybody's getting greedy. But the thing about it, Tim, at the bottom line is people got to say, no, I'm not going to watch Peacock. I want to watch it on regular television.
Yeah, I'd like to watch my sports on Fox. I'd like to watch my sports on ABC. The power's in the
people. And the people always jump ship to go there and watch it just because the analysts or whatever, or the players, this game's going to be on this 13. People are fools and they fall for it every time. And they get poorer and poorer when these companies and organizations get richer and richer. All you got to do is say no.
That's what it's all
I'm not
about.
sitting on the back of the bus today. That's all you got to say. I'm not sitting
I'm
on
not
the back
going
of
to
the
sit
bus.
on the back of the bus today. Anyhow, speaking of traveling around, maybe by bus, maybe by jet, depends on where you want to go. But do you realize that, things are so freaking messed up all over the world that they actually have travel bans now in countries you won't believe?
A new warning for Americans looking to trade the white of winter for the white sands of the Bahamas. A dramatic spike in crime has prompted the U.S. State Department to raise their travel advisory from level 1 to level 2, recommending visitors exercise increased caution. The U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas says there have been 18 murders in the capital of Nassau within the first few weeks of 2024, some in broad daylight, with retaliatory gang violence as the primary motive.
There's always been an existing gang culture in the Bahamas and other Caribbean nations. But what's really noteworthy here is it's spilled over into the streets and is now affecting tourists.
The Bahamian Prime Minister this week announcing a crackdown on crime.
The persistent cycle of violence and crime has been a dark cloud over our nation.
U.S. officials warning in Friday's advisory that violent crimes such as burglaries, armed robberies, and sexual assaults occur in both tourist and non-tourist areas. And all of this days after the department reissued their Level 3 Reconsider Travel Advisory further south in the Caribbean and Jamaica. So what's the best advice if you're planning a trip there?
That does not mean you should call off your trip, but rather you should focus on the precautions.
For travelers, the State Department recommends don't answer the door unless you know who it is. Do not physically resist a robbery attempt. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program for emergency alerts. And even in paradise, always have a safety plan.
I'll tell you what, Tim, if I'd rather just stay down here in Texas and have to worry about my safety.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm already around a bunch of shooters. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You can't go to the Jamaica and the Bahamas. That used to be like a destination paradise, right? Oh, I can't wait to get down there and just experience the culture. Well, hell, now the culture wants to kill you and shit.
Man,
it's like, what's up with that? I mean, and same thing in Mexico. Look look what's going on. What is that? Cancun, one of the. Mm-hmm. And it's like, your gangs, whether they're cartels or whatever they call them in the Bahamas and down there. I cannot believe.
I'll tell you what I notice is anywhere you find a place that's making a lot of money or doing something big, especially when it's like in areas like Bahamas and Mexico already got a rap because of the gangster stuff or whatever. But when you find places like this making money, there's always more crime there. You go to other places, it's not that much crime, it's not as bad. But you start thinking about the money that's made down there. Somebody's getting muscled, and I want my piece. I want that piece or whatever. They know tourists come down there. And then think about this. This area is making all this money, but the money's not going back to the people that really stay there. So that's the worst part about it.
That's what they say about is the problem down in Cancun. I don't know. I've been there, and I've been through the city. It went downtown, and it was a little bit kind of like run down. But as you're coming from the airport into the actual hotel area, it's really crappy as hell. So it's obvious. That money's staying right on the beach with the tourists and not going out to the people.
And you got this looking all good and fancy, but in reality, it's just a fantasy. That's not how it really is.
It's a fantasy. You're right, and that's what they're promoting, and that's probably what the problem is in some of these other countries. When you get down to Jamaica, get outside the hotel area, and it's just a joke.
Yeah, and if you know it's existing, he said it's been a problem. So what are you doing to address it? Now all of a sudden the murders are going up. Now you want to talk about it?
What they say? 18 murders.
He's probably part of the problem. He just has to go up there and talk about it. He probably don't give a damn. Trust these politicians, man.
Who knows? Hey, I got a new one I want to show you, man, and I'm gonna call this, dude. What the fuck? And I think we touched on this just a moment ago, and that had to do with if you'd love to attend the Super Bowl.
Felicia Darling said something to the mother, as did a male customer, has bonded out.
Hang on a second. Let me get that. Here we are.
Yeah, speaking of cha-ching,
cha-ching, yeah.
Tickets to the Super Bowl will be the most expensive in history. Are you ready for it?
You better believe
See
it.
why I said that?
I do.
So the average ticket for the big game is nearly $10,000. The cheapest, just over $8,000. Okay, now just yesterday, by the way, it was the most expensive was $8,000. So that's nearly $2,000 more than the average ticket last year. Part of the reason for this year's cost is Vegas, baby. The previous record year for priciest Super Bowl seats was also 2020, which coincidentally also featured the Chiefs and the Niners.
And some of the hotels right near Allegiant Stadium are already sold out for Super Bowl weekend. If you can't find a room, you're going to have to pay, like a lot.
A lot.
The Staybridge Suites near the stadium currently has vacancies listed at more than $1,200 per night for Super Bowl weekend.
Wow.
Some rooms are available on the Strip, including at Aria for $1,300 a night and at Fountain Blue for more than $1,400 per night.
You might be better off just doing an Airbnb somewhere and...
Or going in and out, same day.
Yeah.
To watch grown men play with balls.
$10,000. $10,000, Larry, for
pay
a
all
ticket.
that money to watch grown men play with balls.
And it's going to cost you about $1,000 plus if you want to spend the night.
But you can't pay a prostitute more than what you pay her. But you're going to pay for all that to watch these men play with. Come on, bro. That's a scam.
That is ridiculous.
I should have saw it coming. I should have saw it coming when, what's that, Kelsey's dating? Well, who is he dating?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever her name is, her face is. I should have saw that coming.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, she's all on the camera on the thing. He's just showing her face every other play. And then now it's in Vegas. It's a setup. I guarantee you after the Super Bowl, they're going to break up.
It's going to be it's going to be one big show.
And it seems like every year they say this is the most expensive Super Bowl tickets ever. They say it every year, and every year it gets more and more and more and more, really.
Because you know what is kind of crazy? I mean, you hear about the teams. Okay, yeah, you made an interesting point. You hear about the teams. Okay, it's going to be the 49ers, and it's going to Kelsey and boys, right? So in any regard, who's the halftime entertainment?
Usher.
Are you sure? I mean, I haven't heard hardly anything about him. All I hear about is
Usher
Taylor.
No, Usher's going to be the entertainment. So
I know he's going to be, but I think he's being overshadowed by all this stuff with Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Kelsey, Taylor Smith, that battle Mahomes in Kansas City. That's the fight. That's the war. Look, it's like they make it like a Space Jam, like some aliens that was at the mall came down here to play one of these teams or something. I'll pay some money to see that. Some aliens are going to play us on Earth. I want to see who win that. Like it's some kind of end game or Thanos type stuff. I'll pay to see that. But come on, bro. These grown ass men. I've been watching them playing college, and they playing football. A game.
Football. It's a game.
It's a game. It's not even
that's
real life.
Ridiculous. And I'm going to shell out $10,000 to go watch.
And it can be manipulated.
Right. Sure, it could be, and who's to say it won't be? Especially when gambling's legal now. You don't think that sometimes has an influence on stuff?
Yeah, because, bro, people are so pathetic to me, man. I ain't saying all our viewers are pathetic, but those out there that are not our viewers are spending all that money to watch the grown ass.
You're out of your
play
mind.
Balls.
Yeah, I'll do my free trial with Peacock and then cancel it so I can watch the game.
Yeah, right. I mess around and call the cable guy.
Hey, and it's kind of interesting. You know who hates Taylor Swift? Doesn't hate her, but is really scared to death of her is Trump. Because she endorsed Biden the last time, she'll endorse Biden again, and they think that she is that big of an influencer that she could sway the vote. What do you think?
No, she just can sing.
You think there's enough Swifties out there that they could actually sway an election?
She ain't even fine. She can just sing, and who can't sing? I can't sing, but there's so many better singers out there than her. Some people you don't even heard of can sing better than her. Come on, man. But she's got a good marketing team.
You can get up there in the dress and shake it pretty well, right?
Well, who hasn't done that? Tina Turner did a great job of shaking it. She has a great marketing team. That's all it did. Great writers, great songwriters, great music producers. That's all she got. Who doesn't have it? Yeah. Kanye West even had it. Come on now. She ain't no. They're playing with balls for a living. Get out of here, man.
There we go. Hey, let's get on to what you enjoy. I had to throw in my, my one moment there, and this is our Asshole Award. And I kind of accidentally previewed that, but we'll watch it again.
Felicia Darling said something to the mother, as did a male customer. Here's some of the interaction.
He came in here without that jacket on. Yeah, he did. Obviously. That baby just had a pamper on. That's all he got on. I can't.
She's just an innocent soul. He didn't ask to be here. So I took action and I started recording her. Minutes in the video, she threw cold food on the baby.
Yeah, don't do that.
And he sadly just looked down.
Somebody call police on her.
It seemed like in his eyes, he was just looking for help. He was crying out for help. A man was telling her, you throwing cold food on the baby. She walks off and flirts.
Yeah, don't do that. Somebody call police. No, what's wrong with you? Somebody call police on her. Who are you? Lower my voice. Lower your voice. Who are you? Get out that man. Get out that man, please. Crazy. What the hell? Somebody call the police on her.
Go ahead, since I already called 2 times. I keep paying. So long as you got hot water, fire extinguisher.
But when you come in the store full of dress and your baby's not.
Now, I'm going to call the cops right now.
A customer in a riding shopping cart purchases an outfit for the boy and dresses him while the mother flips through her phone.
After the lady in the riding cart put the outfit on the baby, she walks out of Walmart and started walking to our car. Was walking to our car. A cop was walking behind her. And they arrested her and they took the baby. They took the baby and CPS was called.
26-year-old Cambria Darby was arrested and charged with child neglect. Child Protective Services released the child to a family member. Byram police say Darby has bonded out.
Isn't that disgusting? So it's snowing outside, sub-zero weather. She's got her baby in her car, brings it inside in a pamper, puts it in the cart, walking down that freezer aisle with a baby, putting frozen food on it in a diaper. I'm like, what is wrong with this person?
And they said they want to prevent people from getting abortions.
And then this Walmart employee, you see that? That was the label on the actual clip. She got fired.
For not minding her own business.
For not minding her own damn business. And it's like, really? So you probably saved a child what type of torment, and you're going to terminate your employee because she took action.
Goes to show you that all good deeds will go undone, usually.
Anyhow, that had to make my asshole of the week because that's just totally ridiculous. People, treat your kids better than that.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
Treat your kids better than that. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, you hear? Hey, listen, we talked about all kinds of interesting things, from disputes over marijuana to the wheels of jets falling off to, the war in Hamas. It still needs to stop. That needs to stop. We need to get involved, people, and get this to stop. Genocide of any kind is just unconscionable, and we cannot support that, and we need to let our voices be heard. The right or wrong of those individuals that, perpetrated the first action, there's a lot of innocents being killed. So let's think about those people too and let our voices be heard when it comes to that. That's my only hope, people, that we care enough that we say something. Larry?
Yeah, it's just tough to follow, but I'm going to try it. Check me out on Facebook, IGLRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. This is going to be real quick, people. I know everyone has a New Year's resolution. I'm going to get in shape this year. I'm going to start in January, and I work at a gym. Watching this, and it was packed at first, and now February is coming. It's thinning out as it usually does. There's no such thing as I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But tomorrow, you got to go ahead and get in shape and stay in shape. You got to get fit to stay fit because it's healthy for you, friends, and your family. Fitness, exercising, training, working out makes you a better person, makes you more confident. On top of that, it's healthy for you. So don't be one of those New Year resolutions people, because I know you are. I know you're watching. Your friends is like that too. Tell them to don't stop. Stay in the gym. Make it a healthy habit to exercise or train, work out. LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. IG, Facebook.
That's it. Damn straight. Holler at Larry. Keep yourself physically fit. You know, I'm getting up in age. I should start really considering having an exercise program that I routinely do instead of spontaneously. Here, I think I'll walk on the treadmill here. It's important that you keep a routine going so you keep yourself physically fit too. A lot easier to stick with it when it becomes a routine, if I'm not mistaken, Larry.
Very easy. Just got to do it, man. Stick with it.
So, yeah, back when I was active in sports and everything else, oh, absolutely. 3 times a week I was in that gym working out hard, keep myself in shape, because it's important. Another way you're going to get yourself hurt is if you're not keeping yourself in shape. And that's physically and mentally.
True.
Right on? Anyhow, hey, man, let's call it a night, wrap this up, and tell everybody until next week, Larry and I will holla. Peace. We out of here, man.